So, when you think of the big names, Microsoft, AWS, OpenAI, you probably picture these huge, self-sufficient empires, right? But, the truth is, it's way more connected than you'd think. These titans are all powered by a kind of hidden engine, one that quietly drives growth across the whole industry. So today, we're going to pop the hood and see what's really going on.
Okay, let's dive right in. See, none of these giants are going it alone, not even close. They're actually at the center of this massive ecosystem, working with thousands of smaller companies that build on their platforms, sell with them, and support them. And their success, and the success of all those partners, it all comes down to one thing: strategic partnerships.
Sounds great on paper, right? But in reality, it's a super delicate dance. And when the rhythm is off or the partners start stepping on each other's toes, the whole system can just grind to a halt. So what's the big deal? What actually goes wrong?
Okay, so to really get the problem, you have to appreciate just how complex this whole puzzle really is.
Yeah, on the surface, it looks great. Teamwork, synergy, all that good stuff. But just try to put yourself in the shoes of a smaller company. You're not just dealing with one giant. You're trying to juggle relationships with AWS, Microsoft, and OpenAI, all at the same time. It becomes this tangled web of different rules, different people, different systems. It can be a total mess.
And all that complexity, it throws up these huge roadblocks to growth, and a lot of them are totally invisible. So let's break them down.
All right, look at this number, 60%. This represents a massive amount of wasted potential.
So what is that? That's 60% of the money that these tech giants offer their partners for marketing, and it just goes unused, left on the table, every single year. And we're not talking about a few bucks here. This is millions of dollars in untapped growth opportunities.
Okay, so what even are these market development funds, or MDF for short? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a special allowance. The big tech company says, hey, here's some cash to help you grow your business. But, and this is a big but, it comes with this crazy complicated rule book. You have to follow every single rule perfectly just to get the money.
So why on earth is all this cash just sitting there? Well, first off, you've got these poor partners trying to juggle completely different rulebooks from AWS, Microsoft, you name it. Then, inside their own company, the marketing, sales, and tech teams are basically living on different planets. They don't talk. The person who's supposed to manage all these partnerships, they're totally swamped. And to top it all off, it's almost impossible to prove that the marketing they do manage to fund is actually making a difference. It's just a perfect storm for inefficiency.
But what if you had an insider's playbook for this? A guide written by someone who didn't just know the rules of the game, but used to be the one calling the shots. Well, that's where we start to see a real solution.
And this quote right here, it really gets to the core of it. The secret sauce is being able to translate all that complex tech speak into something that actually sounds compelling to a business. That's a skill you only get from being on the inside, from working at a giant like AWS and really understanding how they think, what they value, and what makes a partnership pop.
So, all that insider knowledge got turned into a framework called the Trifecta Methodology. I know it sounds a little corporate, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. It's all about getting your marketing, sales, and tech teams to finally get in the same room and work together. So marketing brings in amazing leads, sales has everything they need to close the deal, and the whole thing is built on a solid foundation of real tech credibility. Simple, right?
And when you get that alignment right, the results are, well, they're pretty stunning. You're looking at sales cycles closing 40% faster. The quality of your leads, it improves by 3 times. And the overall ROI from that big tech partnership, it shoots up by 25%. These aren't just little tweaks. This is a total game changer.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you put this into practice? It's all about a system, a repeatable process for growth called the demand generation flywheel. Let's walk through it.
Okay, so it all kicks off with a really deep dive. First, you assess everything. You do a full audit of your partnerships, figure out what's working, what's not, and most importantly, where all that free MDF money is hiding. Next, you plan. You build a strategy to actually get your hands on that funding. And then, stage 3 is creation. This is where you design the partner programs and incentives that'll get everyone fired up.
All right, once that foundation is solid, it's time to build the blueprint. Stage 4 is strategy, using AI to build a smarter marketing plan. Stage 5 is all about the roadmap for the whole year, laying out every single campaign. And then, Stage 6, this is where the rubber meets the road. Execution, time to bring it all to life.
And let's be clear, execution here doesn't mean just shooting off a few emails and calling it a day.
No, we're talking about creating these really high-impact, unforgettable experiences. Think intimate roundtable discussions just for C-level execs, or hands-on workshops for the technical folks, or even these incredible immersive events like getting behind-the-scenes access at an F1 race or touring a private vineyard. Even the online stuff gets an upgrade, like curated wine tastings over Zoom.
And the payoff for doing this stuff, for creating these premium, high-touch experiences, it's staggering. It's an 8-to-1 return on investment. That's right. For every single dollar you put into one of these unique events, you're getting $8 back. It's just proof that when you create real human connection, it's not just nice, it's incredibly profitable.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this matter? Because this isn't just about a clever marketing plan. This is about understanding the gears of that hidden engine we talked about at the beginning, the system that is literally powering the entire modern tech economy.
Figuring out how to tune it in is the key to unlocking some serious growth, not just for one company, but for the entire tech world. And all of this leaves us with a really interesting question to think about. In a world that's being more and more powered by AI, where machines can do so much of the technical heavy lifting, could it be that the ultimate competitive advantage is something that's just deeply human? You know, the expertise to manage tricky relationships, build real trust, and turn a simple partnership into an absolute powerhouse. Definitely something to chew on.